One of my very favorite things that I did during the lockdown period that you guys will remember from a few years back was I was busy purchasing all these different kind of coffee beans to experience different brews and different beans from different parts of the world. And I absolutely loved that experience. You know, I realized that I really have quite the palate for different, coffee beans and things like that. And that kind of turned into a whole different rabbit hole in and of itself. And I guess that's what brings me to this point today. We are talking about coffee fragrances. Now, with this particular list here, I have, of course, a couple of fragrances that you're familiar with, right? And then I have some that just, they fly under the radar and not a lot of people talk about them. And man, I'm so excited to spotlight some of these fragrances, like I said, again, that you're familiar with, many that you probably never heard of before. And I love doing that for you guys to get you out there and get you discovering new fragrances and speak of fragrances that not everybody's talking about. I love bringing you that kind of content. It excites me and I hope it excites you too. Before we talk about the fragrances, I'm Dave. This is my channel here. If you're new, Cali's Groom Room. I talk about everything grooming and fragrance related. If you take anything of value, away from today's video, you like the content, you enjoy what I do here, hit that like button for me. It's the thumbs up button. It's right below. It costs you absolutely nothing and it works wonders for the channel. That would be really helpful. I would love to hear from you guys. Do you guys like coffee fragrances? Do you own any? Or, do you like something on the lighter side? Maybe a fragrance that has coffee in it, but it's not, the most prominent note in the world, just kind of giving some support there. Let me know all of those fragrances, the coffee fragrances that you enjoy to wear. I'd love to read those. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. This way you are updated whenever I drop new content here on the channel. Let's talk about these 12 beautiful coffee fragrant experiences. That was quite a mouthful there. This first fragrance that I'm going to talk to you about comes from the brand of Theodores Kalotinis right here. And this is called Coffee Addict. The reason why I wanted to talk about this first is because here in the US, so I'm speaking to US dollars right now, as I always do anyway, this comes in at $55. And for the quality that you're getting, the experience you're getting, this is the best budget coffee fragrance, yes. So with this one here, you definitely experience the coffee. It is that fresh coffee ground style of coffee. You're going to have a bit of vanilla, some cacao and caramel. You could think of this as like a caramel latte of sorts, or maybe even a caramel macchiato, something like that. I'm not hip to the frou-frou coffee drinks. I like my coffee black. So, therefore, once in a while I'll splurge and get a cappuccino. But my point is I'm not hip to all the different, kind of varieties of different drinks of that nature. But this one here, amazing, guys. It's really fantastic. Also, in addition to the notes and the way that I kind of described it, there is a bit of this ambery kind of quality to it, though it's not credited. And I bet you there's no amber accord here. There is just something so warm and comforting and inviting about this scent, which reminds me of amber. I find ambers to be very warming, very cozy. And, this is a very warm, cozy, inviting coffee fragrance. One that you definitely have to check out, especially for the price, guys. You can find samples of this particular fragrance online all over the place. I know Theodores himself has samples on his website if you are overseas watching this video. So you could find this fragrance just about anywhere. Just about is the key word there. But definitely one to experience here. Coffee Addict by Theodores Kalotinis. Before I move on and talk to you guys about the next fragrance, I did forget to mention that I'm using a new setup today, a new camera, so I do apologize if I do not get the camera to focus on the bottles of fragrance as I'm showing them to you. Don't worry, I'm going to do a bit of a B-roll so you guys can get a better idea of what the bottles look like and, things of that nature. But I did just want to touch on that briefly because silly me, I forgot to mention that in the beginning. So anyway, moving on to the House of Gentleman's Nod. This is Sidama by Gentleman's Nod. This right here is amazing, guys. I love this. You know that if you've been around the channel for a minute. I've talked about this fragrance. I think in like the last 2 videos, I have been wearing this a bunch and talking about it and loving on it. Yeah, I do, man. I love it because, yes, it's a coffee based fragrance, you know, with the name of Sidama. There's this particular, it's focusing on this particular region that harvests coffee beans, right? So with this one here, it's so different because instead of using like vanilla and sweeter ingredients, here the sweetness is coming from fruits. You have mixed berries in here. You also have rum absolute. You have apricots here. You have a bit of a tropical sort of, you know, kind of proprietary fruit cocktail, if you will, going on here. It is chocolatey with this chocolate note that it has. A bit nutty as well on the skin when I actually, you know, apply it to skin. A great, great fragrance. If you're looking for a coffee-based scent and you're kind of dipping your toes in, maybe you're relatively new to what coffee smells like or translates into perfumery, this is a great place to start if you like fruity fragrances, because it's sweet, fruity, and just a very pleasant scent. It leaves a great scent trail, a very beautiful scent trail, and I absolutely love this, guys. I know I said that a couple times already. You know, I featured it in videos, but man, when I really love something and I'm passionate about something, it just, you know, it really shows, and I hope that you guys could feel my energy right through the camera, guys. Gentleman's Nod, a highly underrated brand here on YouTube, and it definitely needs more love, the brand itself. This one's Sidama, a phenomenal coffee fragrance, guys. Like I said, if you're looking for something a little bit different, you know, than creamy sweet coffee fragrances, definitely try Gentleman's Nod Sidama. Again, focusing more on the fruity aspects of you know, in combination with coffee is what I meant to say there. But once again, guys, Gentleman's Nod Sidama, a great one, long lasting too. This lasts forever on skin. Definitely check it out. This next brand that I'm going to be speaking to you about, you don't hear anything on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You don't see this brand anywhere, and they do fragrances in a very unique and special way, very different. Now, don't get that confused. Their fragrances are very wearable. They are definitely for a specific crowd. And I'll tell you who that crowd is. Somebody who wants to experience pure niche perfumery. What does that exactly translate to? What does that mean? Somebody that wants something different, right? You're just looking for something different. Check out the scent of Banat or Banat. This is from Weker Perfumes. This brand I fell in love with. I was going crazy. I own 3 fragrances from them now, and I'm blown away by their creations. Let's focus now on this particular fragrance. So yes, you have coffee here. Absolutely. You have a bit of saffron here that, of course, creates this leathery feel, and you will definitely experience leather. Now, my assumption is, because I don't know this, is there's a leather accord happening here because I get an overdose of leather. There's a bit of mossiness. I'm thinking oak moss here, saffron for sure. There's a little bit of a floral feel. As you could see, this is an example of a fragrance that's not necessarily all about coffee. There is coffee here. It will hit you. It's more of a brewed coffee experience. At least that's what I get, along with the other facets that I already explained to you. This stuff is amazing. It's a great, unique, complex composition that is just, it wears on the skin wonderfully. And I absolutely enjoy this one. This one is another one that's great for this time of year. You know, coffee fragrances are just great in the fall and in the wintertime. That's when I gravitate towards these fragrances. That was what I was saying before. You know, I find them to be very warm and very cozy. This isn't so warm and cozy. This is a little bit more of, I would call rugged because of that leather accord, but nevertheless, a great perfume, one I cannot recommend enough. The scent of Banat from Weker Perfumes. Since I'm on this kick of unique coffee fragrances, let's move on to Strangers Parfumiere and SM Café. SM Café. What a trip this fragrance is. It's wild, man. It really is. Wow, such a different fragrance because you have you have coffee here. You will experience it, and it does smell like a coffee house. But I don't know what in the heck is going on in this coffee house because you have this you have animalic tendencies. You have some leather in here. You have beeswax absolute is another note in here. So there's tobacco with smoky tobacco. This is such an interesting perfume. It's kind of erotic in a way, you know. It's almost as if like you have this coffee and you're getting a little freaky and dripping honey, and there's some bondage going on. I don't know, man. The scene that this thing, the imagery that this creates when I wear it is crazy. And trust me, it's quite the experience, man. When you smell this, trust me, you're going to be like, what in the God's name is going on here? But man, when this dries down, it gets so beautiful and just inviting. And coffee, the coffee is like putting ground coffee beans right up to your face. And of course you have all that weird erotic crap happening in the background, but this is such an interesting perfume and blew my mind. Like, how can you create something like this and twist and turn it in so many different directions and still being able to perfume it in such a way where it could be wearable and enjoyable? I enjoy this strange perfume. Now, I completely understand the name of this fragrance house, Stranger's Parfumiere. Yeah, of course. Strange, you know? And I know the way I described it is probably strange, but nevertheless, this is a fantastic fragrance. Again, another one of those, you know, types of fragrances where, yes, you have the coffee. Yes, there's a coffee house experience happening here, but there's all these different twists and turns where it's not just about the coffee. It's about other things that are going on in the particular perfume as well. So for that, it had to make this list because I absolutely love wearing this stuff. It's a great warm and cozy type of coffee fragrance. And like I said, it's got some other stuff going on in the background, but it's just a unique thing that does its own thing and does it very, very well. SM, or maybe it's BDSM Cafe from Stranger's Parfumiere. Well, let's talk about the iconic Ristretto Intense Cafe. I would say we're taking that charm off. It's already driving me crazy, and it's only been 3 seconds. So I have Intense Cafe right here for reference, right? I have 2 bottles of this. You guys know the story. I'm not going to get into that. Intense Cafe is not a coffee fragrance, all right? It's a vanilla, creamy rose, rose/vanilla fragrance with just a touch of coffee that kind of disappears once the vanilla and the rose really pick up. What you want is Ristretto Intense Cafe. Ristretto, I believe, is talking about the pull from the espresso bean. I read the whole background on Ristretto a long time ago. I didn't retain any of that info because I didn't. So anyway, this fragrance here, you get much more coffee than you do. I almost said caffeine, which I guess is true. Then Intense Cafe. You're still going to have the DNA of Intense Cafe, so make no mistake about it. You're going to get the vanilla. You are going to get the rose. It's a very lush, very plump rose kind of feel. Not quite jammy, but in that direction. Think Bulgarian rose. With much more coffee. There is a bit of this like caramel feeling in here. I'm not sure if caramel is a listed ingredient or note used, but I definitely sense that as well. A great, man, I love that rose vanilla DNA. You get that right up front and center with that coffee, espresso coffee experience. It kind of reminds me of an espresso in a way. Not espresso, Jesus. It reminds me kind of like a cappuccino, except this one, the Ristretto Intense Cafe, is a little bit more vanillic, a little bit more creamy than a cappuccino. There's no spice here, at least what I detect. But this is definitely more coffee forward than Intense Cafe. Yeah, see, even here on the test strip, I'm getting a bit of this caramel-like sweetness, burnt sugar sort of thing happening here. Isn't that caramel, burnt sugar? Come on, man. So, yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I absolutely love this. And just like all Montales, this is a very long-lasting, powerful, potent fragrance. If you're one of those gentlemen out there, men, and you're like, I don't know about rose fragrance, stop with that. Stop hating on rose. Rose is phenomenal. Rose is actually, in my opinion, one of the most masculine floral notes in perfumery. That's just my take. You get your nose on this though and try it because you have to be a fan of gourmands. In the end, this is definitely a coffee gourmand fragrance, one that you definitely need to try if you haven't. Again, if I'm a coffee lover looking for a coffee fragrance and I'm torn between Intense Cafe and Ristretto, this Ristretto Intense Cafe is the one you want. Intense Cafe is not a coffee fragrance, in my opinion. That is more, like I said, vanilla and rose forward, where this one, you actually have that coffee experience. One worth checking out, guys. Ristretto Intense Cafe from Montale. Next up, we have Oud Café from the brand For the Scent of It. So the interesting backstory to this, real quick, real brief, and then I'll make it about the fragrance. So I spoke to Michael, the perfumer of the brand, and I said, you need a coffee fragrance, because I think with your skill, you would take a coffee fragrance to the next level. And we were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth, and with certain things that I said to him and certain things that he was already thinking, he came up with this right here. So he sent me 3 modifications. I liked the third one the best, and that was also his favorite, but he also liked certain things of mod number 2. So he kind of fused them together and came up with this. You don't know anything about that because he and I were the only ones that smelled those mods. But with Oud Café here, don't worry. The oud here is a very approachable, palatable, easy to wear, easy to appreciate and get along with style. Oud, you have a rose here. The rose here is almost like a blood red rose, if that makes any sense. I know that doesn't exist, but this is a very, very red, almost maroon-like rose. It is not jammy or fruity. The rose here is almost like decaying, right? You have a double dose of a coffee experience here because you have coffee CO2 and you have espresso. And what Michael learned and what he was able to share with me is coffee is a very tricky ingredient to work with in perfumery, because if you dose it too much, he was telling me that it could come off smelling like burned rubber. And if you don't dose it enough, you obviously won't be able to detect it. So, which is why he chose to go with espresso and coffee CO2 extract. You have the Bulgarian rose here, you have oak, you have tonka bean, you have musk. You also have white pepper and walnut. So the walnut here creates a nutty facet to where the way that the walnut and the coffee play together is they kind of, if you've ever smelled whole coffee, like whole bean coffee beans, and you kind of stick your face in a bag, that's the way that the coffee comes across to me. A very, oh my God, this is a gorgeous wear. Very unisex. It doesn't lean one way or another. Get yourself a sample of Oud Café and try it. You could see on the website, the people that have purchased this, they absolutely love this stuff. And yes, you will smell the coffee. You're going to smell the rose. You're going to smell the oud. You have a little bit of, that tonka bean playing around here. That creamy tonka bean plays with the iris to create this kind of creamy, buttery sort of accord that just, it's like, you're having coffee with a splash of heavy cream or something like that. A beautiful coffee oud rose fragrance here is Oud Café from For the Scent of It. Definitely check this one out. And very long lasting, as all of Michael's creations are. Oud Café from For the Scent of It. The next one is a creation by the one and only Olivier Cresp. This is from the brand Acro, and this is called Awake. Now, I'm sure if you are a coffee fragrance fan, you have probably tried this or you own a bottle yourself. This was purchased by my girlfriend. This was a gift to me for my birthday a few years back. This one is beautiful, bright citruses blended with coffee. This, once again, is going to focus more on coffee grounds, coffee beans, coffee grounds. And you have a bit of green cardamom and vetiver in here for a woody feel. Now, when you see cardamom, woody, you hear, woodiness and things like that. Maybe your mind goes directly towards Intoxicated from the brand of Kilian. 2 completely different fragrances. I wouldn't consider this a fresh fragrance, but when you compare this next to Killian Intoxicated, which is also on this list, this one does read as a little bit more of a fresh take. So with this one here, you have the bright citruses contrasted with the freshly ground, that brewed coffee with the cardamom again. And yeah, what this reminds me of is, imagine infusing your coffee with freshly ground cardamom to kind of create this Turkish coffee experience. And you're sitting outside. Whenever I smell bright ingredients, like, you know, you have the lemon here. I'm assuming they're probably he is probably using a bit of bergamot here, because I do get a juicy bergamot, bright, refreshing, kind of tangy bergamot as well. But reminds me of the sun. I oftentimes say that you know, these brighter fragrance notes remind me of just being outside on a bright sunny day. That's what I get here. So again, infusing your coffee with cardamom to create this Turkish coffee experience, and you're sitting outside and the sun is out and it's bright and it's sunny and it's cheerful and you're getting that kick of that caffeine. Beautiful, beautiful stuff here, guys. You definitely have to try this one and check it out. It doesn't matter to me if you're new to coffee fragrances or you're experienced with coffee fragrances. You definitely have to try Acro Awake. This, nice projection, nice sillage. I get about somewhere between 6 and 8 hours complete wearing of this one. It's not a beast, not a room filler or anything like that, but as people approach you, they will definitely notice your fragrance, because this is not a skin scent. So just a great fragrance all in all. Again, that's by Acro, and this one called Awake. The next fragrance that I'm going to be speaking about is that other cardamom coffee-based scent. This comes from Kilian, and this is Intoxicated. So if you don't know, Intoxicated is still my favorite Kilian fragrance. I absolutely love this one. A really cool story. A few months ago, my family and I, we went to visit my relatives in Ohio, and my cousins, they took us out in about right in this small town, right outside of downtown Cleveland, and there they have a little Turkish cafe, and I wanted to go in there. The only reason why I wanted to go in there is because of the Turkish coffee. And my cousin said, oh my God, you're going to love the coffee in here. It's amazing. They have amazing foods and things like that. So I ordered myself a cup of Turkish coffee, and I said, oh my God, this smells just like Intoxicated. And I had my girlfriend smell it, and when she put her nose up to it, she was like, yeah, I definitely, you know, it's definitely a nice, you know, interesting coffee, but it reminds me of a fragrance you have. Killian Intoxicated. It was funny that test, she passed that test and it reminded her of a fragrance, you know? So really, really cool spot. So with this one here, you know, a long time ago when I first discovered this fragrance, I was wishing and hoping that it had more of a coffee experience, meaning that I wish the coffee note that's here was a little bit more pronounced. At that time, I didn't experience true, authentic Turkish coffee. Now, when I had the opportunity to experience Turkish coffee, this fragrance made much more sense to me. I think it's perfectly blended, where the cardamom takes a bit more of a center stage, and the coffee just sits ever so slightly behind that cardamom. Perfect way that Khalees Becker did her work here. This stuff is amazing. It's amazing. This is one of the best cardamom coffee fragrances out there. And then you pair it with coffee, even better. You have a bit of rum and patchouli when this dries down. It's not an overly boozy scent. I would say that you'll experience more of the woods and the patchouli as this dries down. But again, the patchouli is not going to be like this hippie style or anything like that. It just helps complement the dry woodiness of the scent very, very well. This is a beautiful fragrance and a must-have for coffee fragrance lovers out there. Guys, this stuff is amazing and it's potent too. I know when it comes to Kilian, oftentimes you'll hear people say, including myself, Kilian struggles in the performance department. Not with this one. This is a beast on my skin. I'm very careful when I want to wear and apply this one because it's so strong, and people will definitely notice you. This stuff is really great, guys. And again, that's Intoxicated from Kilian. The reason why I have 12 fragrances on this list and not 11 is because this fragrance brand here, they have a flanker of a coffee fragrance. I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with this. But the first fragrance that I'm going to talk to you about from Kerosene is Followed. Followed, I highly anticipated this. I bought it the day it was launched. Blonde bought it, of course. And I was just pumped. I was pumped when I first saw the advertisements of this because I was just excited to get my nose in this because I also love Follow. Now, with this one here, they took Follow, which is known for its coffee, right? Widely regarded as one of, if not the best coffee fragrance experience that you'll ever have, right? So it takes the coffee, it tones it down, and what's going on here is this kind of maple syrupy, creamy vanilla thing that I get. So picture this. You're with your family, you guys are gathered, in the kitchen, you want to do this kind of breakfast project sort of thing together, and you decide to make pancakes and waffles, and you're getting everything ready. You have whipped cream, you have vanilla out there, vanilla extract, you have, your maple syrup, you're going to brew some coffee while you're doing this, and just have a great time and great conversation and, things of that nature. That's what I get here. That's exactly what I get here. I get the makings of that not the batter of pancakes and waffles, but the aroma that they give off. That particular and specific aroma that waffles and pancakes give off. And you have that vanilla, you have that maple syrup feel that I mentioned. Just a beautiful composition, very strong. Holy God, man. I would spray this down here, guys, but that one spray will fill up the room, and the scent will be here for the next 3 days. You know what? I always tell you I love you guys. One spray. Choo, baby. Oh, just beautiful, man. Yeah, just beautiful stuff here. It's warm, it's cozy, it's relaxing, it's inviting, it's welcoming, it's all these things. And I'm here for it, man. I love this stuff. Guys, get your nose on this if you haven't tried it. This is followed, again, from Kerosene. Or maybe you'll like the next one from Kerosene. Man, that one spray is literally filling this entire room quickly. That better show you. That goes to show you how much I care about you, that I would do that. But let's move on, huh? To follow from Kerosene. So this one, again, widely regarded as one of the best coffee fragrances in existence. And you know what? Yeah, it is tough to beat this one. However, I'm going to show you why you don't want to spray follow on your white clothes. I don't know if you could see that there. Again, this is a new setup, so I'm not sure how well the camera is picking the things up. But if you can't tell, right here is all white. Over here where I sprayed is all kind of this, is brown. Oh my God, come on. Come on. If this isn't picture perfect coffee beans, I don't know what is. This, I get two things come to mind instantly. I get like dark roast, or maybe even a little bit of espresso bean, along with freshly brewed coffee. Yeah, you're going to have like woods and spices and things like that. All relevant, all supporting characters in my opinion. This is all about coffee, and it's black coffee. This is no frou-frou, no frills, no vanillas, no half and halves, no, fake syrups or any of that stuff that you would find at like, a big box like Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. This is straight up black coffee in its finest, and I absolutely love this stuff. This is strong. It's not followed strong, but it is strong and potent. You really have to, control yourself. Like me, I'm used to the smell of coffee. I have it every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And I'm very used to the smell, so it's very easy for me to go to anosmic to this fragrance because, again, it's all about coffee and coffee beans, So it's not a very, I wouldn't call it a linear scent, but it's very familiar to my nose to where it's easy for me to go to anosmic to this. But guys, this is strong, 10 plus hours you're going to get. And the whole time, it's a pretty, again, it's not followed. It's not that type of a beast. But this is still going to get you loads of projection, no problem or anything like that. One that I highly, highly recommend, especially, guys, you're watching the video. You're a fan of coffee or you're just a fan of me. And if you're a fan of both, me and coffee or one or the other, try this one out here. It is Follow by Kerosene. This next fragrance here, ladies and gentlemen, has a wow factor to it. Now, this one admittedly is not just about coffee. There's other things in it that help play a role here, and this is damn near a masterpiece. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. This is from Mayo Fusciuni, and this is Little Song. I've been searching to get this fragrance for the past 2 years, and I'm so happy I have this in my collection. I love this stuff. This is a nutty coffee experience, sometimes with different, varieties of coffee notes, right? It could come off a little nutty in perfume, and that's what I get here. I get a nutty coffee experience just done to perfection. It really, I mean, Giuseppe really nailed it with this one here. And in addition to that, you have a bit of ginger for spice and pink pepper, and you have your rose here. You have a bit of vetiver, some bourbon. It's lightly boozy, but not too much. You have cistus labdanum here for a little bit of this ambery sort of green sweetness to it. Oh, this stuff is exceptional, man. Beautiful atomizers too. Oh, little song, man. Wonderful creation. It's so good. It is just so good. And again, it's not, to me, it's not specifically about coffee. Coffee is there. You're going to experience it from beginning to end. But there's other elements to it as well. One thing I forgot to mention is this earthy tobacco that's lightly musky as well. Just a beautiful fragrance. Anytime that you're looking to wear something a little bit more sophisticated and elegant, maybe for a night out, maybe you're going to you are going, to more of an upscale dining event. You're going to be at a steakhouse or something like that, something more regal and upscale. I would wear this fragrance to something like that, as I find this to be extremely elegant. Something I think for somebody that is a little bit more mature. Not that this is a dated smell or anything like that, but I think this is going to appeal more to a mature audience or somebody that has experience and appreciation. This is going to appeal to somebody that is really into niche perfumery, because this is very complex. There's many twists and turns with this one here. This is very elegant. It is very sophisticated. It's a very sophisticated perfume. This is very serious. I feel like this perfume takes itself very, very seriously, and it's going to acquire a specific person to appreciate this composition here. But man, once you do, you are going to fall in love with this stuff. It is so good and lasts all day. I just cannot get enough of the smell and aroma that this has going on in the composition. It is amazing. And the people that on YouTube that talk about this and praise this very high, just like I'm doing right now, it deserves all that, guys. If you haven't experienced Mayo Fusciuni's fragrances, and this one in particular, Little Song, do it to yourself, man. Get yourself a sample of this. Try it out. It is damn good. Mayo Fusciuni's Little Song. Last but not least, a warm and comforting, cozy coffee experience. This one by day 3 is, of course, La Tacita deCafé right here. Yeah, had to be on this list. Now, admittedly, this one here is not all about the coffee. You will experience coffee from beginning to end. You have a bit of orange. You have a bit of orange in here, some spices, sweet cream. I lost my train of thought for a moment. You have a Dominican coffee note here. Very, very beautiful. Again, there's a bit of this nutty quality that I get with that coffee. You have brown sugar, a little bit of a caramel feel, vanilla must, tonka absolute. There is this distinct, beautiful amber quality here that is just so warming and inviting. This type of fragrance here, with how warm, cozy, and inviting it is, every time I wear this and I smell this, I think about sitting with a loved one. It doesn't matter, family, friend. It just reminds me of just sitting with somebody that I love very much and having a great conversation with. That's what this reminds me of. And I absolutely love that about this and perfumery in general. Whenever perfumery can take you to a better place or a great memory, that's the best. Am I right or what? And that's what I experienced with this particular perfume here. Again, just that ambery glow quality that it has. And again, I know amber isn't a chord that's credited here. It's just a feeling that I get, this warm ambery feel with that chocolate. It's a bit of gourmand in the sugar, in the sweet cream. The spices just work together perfectly to surround this coffee note and allow this to be a coffee fragrance. But again, supported by other characters or other ingredients or notes, if you will. La Tacita deCafé is just a beautiful experience, guys. And if you have not checked out anything from day 3 yet, you're a coffee fan, start here with La Tacita deCafé. If you're not a coffee fan, check out the other, videos that I've done featuring day 3 fragrances. But yeah, ending the list here, guys. Day 3 fragrances, La Tacita deCafé. All right, that's it. That's my list of 12 warm, cozy, comforting, amazing fragrances that are perfect for this time of year in the fall and the upcoming winter months, guys. I hope you loved today's video. Don't forget to take a moment, leave me a like, drop a comment down below with your coffee fragrances, or even if you don't like coffee fragrances, you could even do that. And if there's other ones that I need to check out, you can just let me know in that comment section below, guys. Listen, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, guys. Love you. Peace.